Welcome to my first video that I've ever made before. This is for IB Computer Science. I'm going to attempt to show you the Cygwin setup. Cygwin is a Unix emulator, so it's kind of like a DOS emulator for those of you that know Windows. And we're going to be using that to program C++. So Cygwin is spelled C-Y-G-W-I-N. Go Google it, you'll find it, I promise. In order to install it, what I need to do is actually you run this setup.exe. I download that and run it. There's some issues with picking a place to install it from and network stuff. When you're all done with that, you should end up at a screen something like this. There are certain packages we're going to need in order to run things using C++. What we need is a compiler which converts your text code into an actual program. So we're going to need GCC, which is the C compiler. I already have it installed, but what it should say on yours is it should say skip, and you click on this and say install it. The other thing we're going to need is G++. Notice there's a number of things here, so we want the GCC G++ one. We also need the DB, which is the debugger, so GDB, the new debugger. Finally, we're going to need make. So there's a whole bunch of different make files. The one we need is this one that's just make. Finally, we're going to need an editor. So yes, indeed, we don't get to use any drag and drop spell checking sort of thing. The two that I would recommend are Emacs. So that's under editors this time. So Emacs. Or there's one called VI, which is built in. Its advanced version is called Vim. So Visual Editor. Those are the basics of what you need. Install those packages next and let it install. When you're all done, so as you can see, it's downloading and running it. When you're all done, what you're going to be using is a terminal window. It's a little bit like a DOS window if you've ever seen those, and you're actually going to be typing in your commands there. We're going to actually start going over Linux commands once this is all done. Well, that's the basics of it. Hopefully you can get that installed.